What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and you know what? You've got to be fair in your coverage, and I've talked about at length every time, whether it's Blizzard or Disney, when companies make changes, when companies bend the knee to Chinese censorship in exchange for China bucks, it's never seen as a good thing. Now, I think that it's fair to separate the two in that if a company wants to go to China and make a completely separate product for them, and it doesn't affect the West in any way, fine. I still think you're kind of a sellout, but that's what corporations do. I mean, if somebody said, "Hey, Jeremy, we want you to make videos for Chinese YouTube, whatever they have, and we'll pay you, 5 times as much money." If you just produce extra videos and put it over there, I'd probably do it. Well, I don't know. You get what I mean, though. I could probably understand how people would do it. We blasted Blizzard when they did it. We blasted Disney when they made changes. Some of the subtle changes, for example, changing the relationships of certain characters in Mulan, making John Boyega a black man, small and placed in the back of the movie poster. Because apparently Chinese people don't like black folks. I mean, that's the implication. I don't know exactly why they did it, in Top Gun 2 or the Top Gun remake or whatever, they changed the Taiwanese flag on the back of Tom Cruise's leather coat. I mean, there's a wide variety of companies bending the knee. The NBA, for example, bending the knee to when one of their general managers of their teams tweeted out support for Hong Kong. Not only did they make him delete the tweet, but they completely bent the knee. And that's what stopped me from paying for NBA tickets after that. I was done. I was done giving the NBA my money. Basketball is expensive to see. And look, I like sports. I happen to really, really, really like the Milwaukee Bucks. And, my home state team's having the best season ever. And I didn't go to any games because that was it for me. And the reality is you've got to call out even the good companies. And it looks like Steam quietly, here's an article. There's nobody's covering this. I found 2 articles. This one, big credit to win.gg, Nick J for covering this. Users haven't heard much about the Chinese version of Valve's Steam client since it was announced in 2018, but an alpha version of Steam China has now appeared. A recent update to the Steam client revealed that Valve is not only working on the long-awaited Steam China client, but the client itself has officially moved into alpha stage. While there's no official Steam China servers yet, the client already contains the hallmarks of the software company approved by the Democratic Peoples of China, China's ruling party. Leaked Steam China shows off alpha features specific to China. Steam China puts a healthy gaming advisory on startup. As of now, Stam China, is that a spelling ace? Oh, the Stam China exists as a modified version of Steam. Okay, client with 3 major differences. Firstly, the client includes what looks to be a mandated message from the Chinese government that plays for 5 seconds when a user starts a game. The message encourages Chinese citizens to practice moderation and includes a warning that excess play is harmful for the body. You see, healthy gaming advisory. Boycott harmful games, reject game piracy, exercise self-protection, avoid deception. Moderation promotes brain health. Excess play is harmful to the body. Well-planned use of your time will lead to a healthy lifestyle. It's interesting that the Chinese government would say reject game piracy because, China is the epicenter of software piracy. The second appears to be a change that all profile information is being sanitized by the Steam client. Profile pictures are replaced with a default Steam question mark, and all profile names are instead translated into Steam's proprietary Steam ID numbering system. So now instead of seeing somebody's name or picture, it's just a random string of numbers and a question mark. Now maybe that's just because it's an alpha, but probably not. They're probably worried about, a username that says Free Hong Kong or something like that. It's likely that these Steam community features must be approved individually by a Chinese entity, likely a government agency, before they are clear to be displayed. That means that Steam China might be a sea of question marks for some time after its release, as the Chinese government sorts through and approves profile pictures and display names. The move is in line with China's wholesale blocking of Steam community features that started in 2017 and continues to this day. Valve is working with China to bring gaming limits to Steam client. It also seems Valve is restricting users from playing games between certain hours, a move that is in lockstep with guidelines by the Chinese government in November of last year. Imagine supporting this. I don't know. You know, if I'm already a billionaire, you know, and this is another billion, do I care? Do I just say, you know what, maybe I've got to have some morals? Maybe I'm not going to create a client that has the oppressive rules of government regime baked into it. You know, imagine if your computer would only turn on certain hours of the day because, you know, your government said that you couldn't use it during these hours. That's what this is. Steam is supporting it, and I don't like it one bit. Win.gg received this warning when attempting to launch CSGO while it was 4 p.m. While WinGG attempted to start the game, it was 5 a.m. in China. Whether Steam China automatically defaults to Chinese time zone is unknown, but the client didn't seem to recognize that it started in a time zone and should have allowed Counter-Strike to start. It says, you can't play this game between 10 p.m. and 8 a.m. the following day. Please take a break. Are you kidding me? This is some spooky stuff that Steam is totally fine with. Steam is totally fine with the government saying, for 10 hours, you're not, I'm sorry, 14 hours. No, 10 hours. You're not allowed to play this video game because your overlords say so. What if you work third shift? Are you just never allowed to play video games then? I mean, this is absurd. What if what if you didn't play all day? Are you not allowed to play at night instead? Chinese guidelines prevent gaming between certain hours or for individuals below a certain age. When attempting to start CSGO, however, the current version of Steam Client is only performed one check. Steam ran a command line argument when the Play Now button was clicked, calling for a check to Steam's duration control system. Valve implemented China's November guidelines on gaming. The argument returned the answer night to the client, preventing Steam from opening Counter-Strike. A similar issue was observed with Dota 2. These games already have Chinese releases, though, through the Chinese publisher Perfect World, which could explain the early implementation of the system. WinGG could start and play other games normally. This is just the start of what users can expect from China's own specialized Steam client, with signs that Valve isn't just working with the Chinese government, but actively developing new features to allow the client to be released in the country. It looks like Riot Games isn't the only software developer willing to add and remove from its products in order to access China's massive video game market. This does bring up some really tough questions about, I guess, capitalism for people. I mean, I think my default has to be that, of course, Steam can do this if they want. I don't know what I would do if I were Lord Gaben, if this was my company and I had to choose between, you know, employing another 2,000 Americans or not. You know, a lot of that money flows here. And it does a lot of good. You know, it pays for a lot of health insurance. It pays for a lot of charitable donations. It pays for a lot of development like Valve's Index system and Half-Life Alyx. It pays for a lot of things, but at what cost? I mean, I feel like it would be kind of slimy, you know, paying somebody to impose the governmental regulations of another country through my own gaming website or my gaming platform. I mean, people already have a major problem with Epic Games just because of ownership reasons. Will people stand up and give Steam the same backlash? It doesn't seem like it. There's hardly any articles on it. There's hardly any online backlash. And it's confusing to me because I've got to stay true to my principles here. And if it's wrong when Epic Games takes Chinese money, and it's wrong when Blizzard takes Chinese money, and it's wrong when Blizzard punishes Blitzchung for standing up for Hong Kong, and if it's wrong when the NBA censures their own employees to accept more Chinese money, then it's absolutely wrong when Steam does the same thing, and you've got to call it out. Does this mean that you can't use or you shouldn't use Steam anymore? No, life is short. But it's important to know that even the most strong financial companies are still always going to take that Chinese money, it seems. And it's pretty sad to see them helping oppress the people and oppress. Steam is literally taking Chinese money to oppress gamers. Think about that. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.